Hi, welcome to Losing Weight with Elizabeth. Today we're going to talk about the 7 psychological reasons you keep failing on your diet. Now, in our studio audience, no one is failing on their diet, which is a miracle of epic proportion. Well, maybe I am a little bit, but nobody else is. Everyone is losing weight. Tell me, how many pounds have you lost? Let's get a couple of people to
A cinder block.
She lost a cinder block, which is 30 pounds. Actually, it was a little over 30 pounds today.
Really?
I think it was 30.6,
Wow.
which is a cinder block. Pick up a cinder block and you'll see. And what about, what
18.
18 pounds.
28.
28. This is a lot of weight. Just pick up a bag of rice at the grocery store, you know, and you walk around with it even for a few minutes, you know, one of those 20-pound bags. You'll be stunned. You won't even know what happened. So this thing is for everybody out there, but maybe it'll affect you in some way, because, you know, you're doing so well you could practically teach the class yourself. So
I don't think so.
here's the thing about you run away from discomfort no matter what you're giving up. Food, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, anything, you know, that you overindulged in or need to give up, there's always going to be some discomfort, because you kind of have to say, well, and with alcohol, it's, I can't have it anymore. That has always been the deterrent for me to go, I should stop drinking for a little while, because I do not want to never have it again. That has always been the biggest deterrent to me on all issues, and I think that's how Don't Diet Edit came up, because I could not imagine life without pizza or cake or cookies. Forget cake, cookies. I couldn't imagine it, so I had to figure out how I could still do the things that I love to do, but, you know, bring it back where there was some discomfort. So change happens outside your comfort zone. So you have to embrace the discomfort. And you know how I embrace the discomfort is at the gym. Oh my God. You know, when you're on an arc trainer or a elliptical machine and you can see that you still have 20 minutes to go and there's nothing on television and your music seems like you've heard it 1,000 times and there's no one to talk to, it is so tedious. I could kill myself. But that's discomfort. But I know when I'm done, I'm going to feel like $1 million. And that's the true thing about weight loss. You will feel so much better. You're already all feeling so much better. You focus on the result, not the progress. You know, not the process. You know, change doesn't happen overnight, so you have to plan for the long term. And that's why when we talk about this kind of weight loss, slow weight loss, which is tedious sometimes, but how many times do you want to lose the same 10 pounds?
Once.
Once. You should start, you have to stop thinking that I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 5 months. That's 2.5 pounds a week. That is an impossibility, because the minute you start eating normal food again, or start eating, you will gain every bit of that weight back. I had a lady who didn't tell me, but she was only eating 500 calories. Yeah, remember that? That lady, and she lost 50 pounds in the shortest period of time. And finally I said, what are you doing? You know, because it just didn't seem right to me. And every time I asked her, she always said, oh, I'm having tuna and lots of salads. And, you know, she always sounded like she was eating just perfectly.
2 bites of it.
Well, to make it only 500 calories, yeah. And, you
Yeah.
know, then what happened was she stopped and she gained 60 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And
Faster than
probably,
she lost it, right?
huh?
Faster than she lost it.
Faster than she lost it in probably 2 months.
Mm.
It just came back on with a vengeance.
Wow.
And she was so unhealthy when she was doing the 500 calories. And you know, how could you even be happy? You're not getting any of the vitamins you need to be, your nerve endings, you know, vitamin B and all that. You're not getting any of that. You know, so there's going to be a little discomfort now and then, you know, when you actually have to say, no, I only get 3 bites of rice pudding. And you have to push it away. Ooh, that's a hard one. Or no dessert for me. But then, you know, if I'm out, I'll have my spoon at everybody else's plate. So that's not it. So focusing on the results and not the process is what's important, because it's the way you learn how to have healthy lifestyle. Not a diet, a healthy lifestyle. You know, if you're not always going to eat, you know, chicken for dinner, a half a sandwich for lunch, you know, I mean, you're going to have variety. You're going to have other things. And you have to always remember that. And when was the last time you had something you think that was fattening?
Very recently.
See? It's very recently, and now you've lost 30 pounds.
And it's because you're teaching us to keep eating what you like, just a lot less of it.
Yes, that's the other thing. I was so glad when that pizza did not taste good the other night, because I don't know if I could stop at one piece. But yeah, you're right. It's exactly right. Is what the maintenance part. You're on maintenance light pretty much.
Right.
Anybody?
I eat something fattening every day.
She eats
I
something
sort of
fattening
do
every day.
too.
But
I ate 2 bites of a chocolate frosted brownie today. Last night I had a
2
couple.
bites though. See, that is some
That's all-
sort of willpower
That's
that
all I needed to satisfy
Oh.
me.
You've gotten something through, at least my head, that it's not calorie worthy.
Oh yeah, isn't
So-
that true?
Yeah,
Like,
I just needed to satisfy that little bit of chocolatey sugar.
And would more
that I
make it
wanted.
happen?
I
No.
mean, there was more of it in the pan. I just cut a little sliver, like 1 inch by 2 inches, and
Yeah, like as if you had a little candy bar.
that was it.
And you can
Yeah.
also kind of remember how badly you're going to feel if you eat all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, not just psychologically.
No, physically.
No,
Physically,
That's
if I
why-
eat a lot of
yeah.
sugar
Me too.
or a lot of carbs even.
It's not just that, you
Bad
feel
carbs.
crappy the next day too.
Oh yeah, it's a hangover.
Yeah.
It's a sugar hangover. Or, you know, or a bloated hangover.
And you
It's-
just don't have your get up and go.
yes, your
It-
get
you
up
just don't
and
feel
go
the
is
same.
went.
It got up and went.
Oh, it got up and went. I don't know what it
I don't know
is.
where it went. It went away. But yeah, that's what that does to me if I have too much bad
Yeah.
sugary stuff.
If you had too much bad sugary stuff. Yes, me too. That's exactly what happens. Your habits are in the way. You have to replace bad habits with good ones. I mean, that's as simple as that. You know what? I found that I replace. I'm a good cook, so I can make some of my favorite dishes, but they won't be fattening. And you know, really, you know what I learned a long time ago, that a little butter goes a long way. Rather than, you know, I remember when I used to make a hard-boiled egg for my son. I would, no, I'm a soft-boiled egg. I would put bread in it, and then I would put like almost half a stick of butter. And my father-in-law, who was a chef, said, make it like you would eat it, not like you think you would eat it. And so I said, well, I would just put a little butter in. He goes, well, then just put a little butter in. And you know what? I learned that at 20. So I didn't learn that to keep it in my real life until, you know, 15 years ago. So I should have taken that lesson to heart. So more isn't always better. Case in point, you knew that see, it's like this with anything that you eat that's fattening. The first bite is the appetite, It's appetizer, the second bite is the dinner, and the third bite is the dessert. That's how I try to do it. This first bite is just to get it in my mouth and make it all like it's an appetizer. And the second bite is the dinner, and I slowly chew it, and I relish the joy that it tastes like. And then the last one is the dessert, and I'm done. And that works for me too, the 3-bite rule. So replacing bad habits with good ones is a slow process, but a good one, and so helpful. You don't analyze your failures. Oof, that's so horrible. So you have to look at why in the past have you failed, to lose weight. What were the things that made you not be, maybe you did lose weight, but what was wrong with the way you were losing weight? It might be too fast. You were.
No, I was going to say that being too strict, and then once you slipped, you just went crazy. And
You
that
just
was my
you went
problem.
right to Carvel. Yeah, right.
Well, like if you slip, you figure, oh well,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
Yeah, you
blow
just-
it.
You
I don't
slip
care.
and you say, "Oh well, I don't
Just
care,"
yeah.
because everybody
in the
thinks you
towel
have to
and-
start a diet
Yeah.
on Monday.
Right.
You slip on Monday, the rest of the week is shot. How is that like? That's like dropping your phone on the ground and it didn't break, so you stomp on it.
Right.
You know, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's you have to look at what you did before. That's one of the good reasons why you keep a journal, is because you really want to look back at what week didn't I lose weight? What was going on that week? Why didn't I? Maybe it was something as simple as vacation. Maybe it was something that you psychologically were burdened with, and so you sought comfort in the arms of food. Yeah, yeah. I think maybe you've lost enough weight. I'm all of a sudden looking at you thinking to myself, I think she's lost enough weight. Yeah, that doesn't mean it's over.
Okay, I'm going to Carvel now.
Yeah. Oh, all right. You lack self-discipline. You know, we had a show on willpower, remember? And I don't like to say, you lack self-discipline. You need to buck up and start doing it right. That's no way to do it. So that's a little harsh to me, but you know, that is true. In the back of our head, the problem really is that, you know, I know people who get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to the gym. Like, you walk at that hour. I did do it, and that was really self-discipline to do it. But, you know, I mean, that to me is unbelievable effort. And or people who will just put on their gym clothes at work and go right to the gym. Smartest thing they could ever do. But you know, it's a long day, and you just want to go home and veg out. But it'll be so much better if you go to the gym, if you go to yoga, if you go, you know, if you start meeting me at Planet Fitness, you know, your head gets on better every time you go to the gym. It really does. You are not at the right stage in your life. Okay, so you just have to address some major stresses. What are some of the major stresses that you have to address? You know, because you have to know why you're overeating.
Well, I think, you know, for a lot of people, most people have stress from their jobs.
Yes.
Majority of people do. People have financial stress.
Yes.
People have relationship stress.
Yes.
And I think those are the three big ones that I can
Money
think of.
and love.
Yeah.
Pretty much the big stressors. I mean, you know, of course, sickness, and you know, but that's love. You know, I mean, it's all rolled up. But you know, sometimes you're just not ready.
Definitely.
But the other thing is, I really don't ever want anyone to be really ready, because then they're all gung ho.
Yeah.
I'd rather them come to me with being a little bit, yeah. Let me see what I can do. I'll do the best I can do. I'd much rather have that than somebody, because those people never stay. They never lose the weight. They never stay. I had one lady lose 25 pounds. Never saw her again. Next time I saw her, oh, doesn't sound right. All the weight was back. She just refused to keep coming. She kept, what is it doing for me? You've lost 25 pounds. Don't you want to keep that off and continue? You know, when you need to lose 100 pounds, you can't just stop. You can never stop. Because you're always going, no matter what, you can never stop, because you have to keep the thought in your head that I want to keep this weight off. That's part of the whole deal. So not being in the right stage of life is probably a good thing that you should always be trying to eat healthy. So it doesn't matter what stage of life you're in, you know, unless you're sick. If you're sick, then all bets are off.
Right.
Then I don't say, then do whatever the heck you want. You know, eat whatever you want. You know, what can you say to somebody who's actually sick? You can't, just be ridiculous. You don't believe you can change. Oh.
That was
Yeah, hit me too.
ingrained in me.
That is a head trip, isn't it?
Yeah.
To think, I
Even if you
remember
don't
I was
even
going
know
to
it.
therapy, and you know, and sometimes it's good if you have a good therapist. And I was losing weight, and I'd lost 13 pounds. And when I walked in for a session, he said to me, "Are you eating?" Now, mind you, I was 235 pounds or something. I'd lost 13, whatever it was, something like that. So, you know, I was no Twiggy. So, or let me think, I'll have to think of some, oh, no, no, I'm trying to think of someone that someone young would know.
Taylor Swift.
There you go, no Taylor Swift. But, you know, but when he said that, it was like, oh, yeah, of course, well, then that's what's going to continue to happen. I'm going to, you know, I'm going to definitely change. I'm going to make every effort to change. But sometimes it takes positive thinking that can help you lose weight, that you know it. So don't think like, I can't lose weight. How many times have you either said that, felt that, or heard somebody else say that?
Oh, tons.
There's really almost no one that can't lose weight unless they're on some sort of bad medication or have some sort of health issue that's causing this problem. And that is a minority of the population. It is not a lot of people. So you can't say, I can't lose weight, to me, without, you know, bringing me a note. Don't mean that even for a second. You have to say, I can lose weight whenever I want to. And you know, when people have said, I can't lose weight to me, occasionally I said, yes, you can. They go, of course I can lose weight anytime I want to. Well, you're desperate to lose weight right now. How about now? You know? And I don't want to, but after a while, you know, you just have to say it like it. I don't believe in say it like it is, you know, like that kind of talk, because that's rough talk. But since most of the time that's the way you hear me in your heads, what would Elizabeth think? You know, she's like this mean ogre, which is not true.
Oh.
Exercise is boring. Well, it is boring. Some of it is boring. I mean, taking a class of dance or yoga or something like that, that's not boring. That's a lot of fun. But it can be boring. Not the weightlifting and all that stuff. I kind of like that, and I feel very powerful when I'm doing it. But, you know, you have to get the cardio out of the way. You have to do it. So, I mean, that's the way I've kept my weight off, is strictly because of the way I exercise and, of course, eating pretty much really good. Oh, and let's just have a quick shout out to Roberta for dinner last night, since you guys didn't ask me. Roberta made an Indian dish, I think, with brown rice, but not a lot, because, you know, brown rice is still really fattening, with lentils and just some spices, and oh my goodness, with a beautiful salad and tomatoes from the garden. Oh, really? Could you have a better meal than that? You truly could not.
Lose the tomatoes and I'd eat it.
What is it?
Lose the tomatoes and I would eat it.
Yes, lose the tomatoes.
Yeah,
love
I'm not a tomato
tomatoes.
person.
And you know what I thought? And I thought this, and I'm sad that I didn't bring it. It would have been nice with a couple slices of avocado, which I had right on my counter, only I didn't know what we were having for dinner, so I didn't know. And this was a simple meal, but first she plated it beautifully, and then it tasted like $1 million. And it was so filling. And I don't think we had like 3/4 of a cup of the, lentils and rice.
I love lentils.
Yeah, lentils
Me
are
too.
really good, and but see, we always forget that stuff like that can taste really good.
They're really
but
good.
it's a lot less expensive to eat a lot of really healthy grains and beans
Yeah.
and stuff like that. People always say, "Oh, it's so expensive to eat healthy." Yeah, meat is expensive. The less meat you eat, the better off you're going to be.
Bread is expensive.
Bread
bread,
is expensive. I
Candy
know.
bars are really expensive.
Yeah.
Candy bars.
There.
Especially out of the vending machine.
Yeah.
The only time I would get a candy bar out of the vending machine is if I'm at the hospital.
Yeah.
If I'm in the emergency room with someone, I need a piece of candy. It's just the way it is. I hate fruits and vegetables.
I love them.
There's certainly some that you like.
Got to be some that.
There's got to be some that you like. Sandy, you're a perfect example of somebody who isn't crazy about a lot of vegetables.
Right.
And look, you've almost lost 30 pounds.
Right.
And you're eating healthy and nutritionally sound. So you can't use that. It's just, you can't, these are all excuses that you use. All the things you tell yourself. The more you tell yourself, I can't, the more you can't. The stronger the I can't becomes. What's the point? I know I'll just fail. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just going to gain it all back anyways.
You know what? In life, and this, we'll just go right off the beaten track. In life, you always have to think, as ridiculous as it, I'll give you a good example. I went to a restaurant and they gave me a tour, and they have this little theater upstairs where they have music and comedians and stuff like that. And I told the people about my skydiving event. Very fun, and a very funny story. And they said, "You're a really good comedian. You should come and tell people about that at the, at the show. Just tell us when you'd like to be here and tell that story." And I said, "Oh, I don't know. I don't think I could ever do that, and blah, blah, blah." But then I started thinking, it is a funny story, and people are really impressed with that story about skydiving. I mean, who skydives, honestly? Very few, was 1% of the population, and I was in the 1%. The only time I'm in the 1%. Anyway, so I came home and I met my friend, and we sat down and we were talking. And I said to him, told him the story. And he went, "Oh, no, 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 no. You could never be a comedian. You should never. You can't do that. You would be, people might not laugh, or you might get your feelings hurt, or, you can't do that." And I was like, yeah, but I just like the challenge of the thought, I was trying to, now I just wanted him to shut up. Really, because you can't tell me you can't. Maybe I can tell myself I can't, but you can't tell me. If I say I'm going to try to, do chin-ups, and you say you'll never be able to do that, I will work like a dog to prove you wrong. Because I'm that little bit of, I'm Sicilian and Irish. If there could be anything more stubborn than that. So after he left, I was like, yeah, that's too bad that he didn't think that I could, do it. Maybe I couldn't, but, it was fun that they asked, and I felt pretty good about it. And he wasn't out of my house, that he wasn't on the phone in 5 minutes. saying to me, what do I know about being a comedian? You probably could be a comedian. You might even be the next Joan Rivers. What do I know? I don't know anything. Do what you want. It's a good thing. You feel like you could do it. I want you to do it. I'd pay money to see that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would. But you know what I mean? It was and there's, see, that's somebody that you gotta love more than anything, because they were trying to protect you. That's how they started that, you know, by saying, oh, no, 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 you know. But then they realized that you can't say you can't do something. Right. You know, like, nobody ever thought I could write a book or have a weight loss class or lose 93 pounds. I didn't think I could do any of that. Or skydive. I never thought I could do any of that. I can't even believe it for a minute. But lo and behold, I'm working on my third book. And there it is. So you have to understand that nothing is off limits if you want to try. What's the worst thing? It could be regret for not trying. Mm-hmm. You might fail. It could happen.
Right, but you don't know unless you try.
You don't know unless you try, and life is not good unless you make the effort. All right, I want you to have a healthy week, and I want you to stop saying these things to yourself. When you change your thoughts, you'll change your weight. See you next week. Bye, Bye Roberta. Okay, that was really good.
That was good. That was really good.
Okay, let's pray.